What's going on, Panthers Nation? We have breaking news coming out of Carolina today. At the Thursday night football game, the results aren't looking good for Donte Jackson. He had an MRI today, and it has been declared that he has a torn Achilles and, of course, will be out for the season. He will need to get surgery. So in this video, we have to talk about some of the implications of this. One, the long-term implications for him in general. Two, what the team does going forward, and if they should sign anybody and what their plan is to do. Let's go ahead and get into it. Donte Jackson, we know he's had his share of soft tissue injuries, and I even joked about it last night that he gets almost hurt in every game. He rehabs during the week. He'll be there. And I never want to make light of any injury because obviously an Achilles is a lot more serious than the Nixon cuts that he usually gets. But you got to have some prayers up for Donte, man. Hoping for a speedy recovery. We know he just signed that deal this offseason, and he's going to be around for the next 3 years. But with the Achilles injury this late in the season, it's going to be some time. We'll see how the prognosis is going forward and if he'll be ready for training camp next year. Obviously, I think OTAs in the offseason are probably out of the question. But with modern medicine and all this stuff, guys are bouncing back a lot quicker. But at the same time, with a guy like Donte who gets hurt pretty frequently, who knows what his recovery process will be like? Not to mention, this guy's game is predicated on speed. Obviously, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's a gambler. He has speed, instincts. He kind of makes some plays. He's pretty aggressive. So how much of a step could Donte lose by having the Achilles injury? We'll see what happens when he comes back. I don't know if there was just some kind of freak injury or you could blame the turf since turf has been an issue thus far. But in the rain, on turf, it just was a recipe for disaster and hoping for the best outcome when it comes to Donte Jackson on his personal level. Now, for the team, let's talk about what we have because the Panthers are thin at corner right now. Let's just be clear. Because as of right now, they have J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson, Tay Hayes, and, of course, Keith Taylor. Now, of course, Miles Hartfield plays defensive back, so he plays a little bit of safety, some nickel. He's kind of a tweener in between, but he's been playing a lot more safety with Jeremy Chin out. They also have Stanley Thomas Oliver, who has been injured reserve for a good chunk of the year because of a quad injury. He went on injury reserve October 15th. Obviously, if he's designated to the return, he has to be on IR for at least 4 weeks. So we haven't heard any kind of inkling about left or right if STO will be returning this week or not. With the quad injury, we don't know how serious it was, but he's been out most of the year anyway. Not to mention, he's more of a special teams guy as well. He doesn't have a ton of starting experience or playing experience at the cornerback position. So really, you only have 4 guys right now. Now, maybe if Jeremy Chin comes back this week, you could put Hartsfield at nickel a lot more and use him maybe on the outside if you have to, if you're in a pinch. But it's really slim pickings. Keith Taylor will have to step up and get a lot more playing time as well because we know Al Holcomb and the defense love to put J.C. Horn in the slot and playing nickel a lot more because he's our best slot corner. So they're going to move him around a lot. So we're going to need guys that can play outside and maybe possibly inside at times. So look for Keith Taylor to be in the starting lineup on the outside corner, outside of CJ as well. I think they should personally look to the streets and maybe sign somebody, maybe an A.J. Bouye, somebody that has familiarity with the team. I know, obviously, Joe Person, he mentioned Steve Wilkes having an inkling for maybe Josh Norman, who is kind of out of the league right now. He's had spent some time with the San Francisco 49ers last year, obviously with the Bills and the Commanders since he's left Carolina. I don't know what Josh Norman's condition is. Maybe Josh will do it. I'm sure Josh would be willing. I mean, he doesn't have that many opportunities out there. Josh will be cheap. He's familiar with the system. So maybe he could come and be a veteran presence at that and just bring some of that more Carolina swag. Who knows how Steve Wilkes' mindset is. But A.J. Bouye was somebody we just let go last year. Obviously, he spent some time with us and played a lot last year and is a vet. I think he's available to be signed as well. I would love to see a guy like Bouye, but I really think they need to bring in a guy at least for the short term. We don't know what's going to happen with STO, when he'll actually be back. We don't know when Jeremy Chin will actually be back to be able to put Hartsfield back into different scenarios where he could play some corner or nickel. So I'm going to be curious to see what kind of moves they make. We have a long week, obviously, till the next game. So a lot of time for the team to deliberate and diagnose what they have going on. We'll pay attention to what reports come out for Donte and his prognosis. But nevertheless, prayers up for Donte. You guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about Donte getting hurt and if you think they should sign somebody off the street or you think we have the answer on the roster presently and you think we're good right now. And just how you feel about Donte's future going forward with this injury after just signing that contract extension this offseason. Let me know how you feel down below in the comments, but make sure you guys are subscribed if you have not. I do Panthers content pretty much whenever breaking news happens. I do film breakdowns and all kind of stuff like that, so make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell icon. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.